Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together on the PSP was already a fantastic game, and Square Enix probably could have gotten away with just a straight port. However, that's not the case at all. Tactics Ogre Reborn has so many new features and quality of life improvements that it basically feels like a brand new game. Now, I was given the opportunity to play this game early, and I want to thank Square Enix for reaching out to me. Now, I'm only allowed to talk about the first chapter for the purposes of this video, but honestly, that's all I'm going to need to get you hyped for this strategy RPG masterpiece. Now, in terms of the story, I gotta be honest, I have no idea what's going on. It's this typical political war drama that most strategy RPGs fall into, and there's a lot of different characters, warring factions, mercenaries, and whatnot. For me, there were just way too many characters and plot elements thrown at me at once, and it was kinda hard for me to grasp what was going on. This is all a shame because Tactics Ogre Reborn has added voice acting to the game for the first time, and the performances are actually really good.
We are less than vermin in their eyes. Insects to be crushed underfoot.
If war begins anew, we'll die just the same.
Now, from what I remember of the PSP version, there's a lot of points in the story where you need to make a decision that completely changes the course of the game. So far, I've played about 4 hours, and while there have been a few dialogue choices here and there haven't been these big, huge changes to the story, so I'm excited to play more and see how it mixes things up. Now let's talk about what really matters here, the gameplay. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a good old classic strategy RPG. You'll bring in a squad of troops into a battle, fight in turn-based combat on a grid-based map, and you have a bunch of different classes that each character is assigned to. So far, the objectives in the battles have just been to defeat one specific troop, but from what I remember in the PSP version, the objectives will change throughout the game. Early on, there's a good variety to the different maps in combat, whether it be fighting on different elevation or undead enemies that you need to use the exorcism spell on so they don't revive. It's never the same old battles over and over again, which I love. Unlike with this year's Triangle strategy where characters are locked to specific classes, you can change classes whenever you want here with Reborn, provided you have the specific card to do so. Now, as each character levels up, you'll gain new abilities like the ability to do pincer attacks where you can attack from both sides, meditate to gain more MP, and much more. Because of these different abilities, it allows for a fun array of customization for your characters. I feel like so far I've only barely begun to scratch the surface, and as the game goes on, it'll be super deep. Now, I will say the opening tutorial, much like the story, throws way too much information at you at once and feels completely overwhelming. However, once you get past the tutorial stages, it feels very familiar if you've ever played a strategy RPG before, and you can just enjoy it. Now, one helpful element that makes a return is the chariot system, which allows you to rewind time essentially infinitely if you mess up. This is great because sometimes you miss or you forget to activate a special ability or something like that, and it's really easy to just rewind time and do it again. Now, the game itself has a solid gameplay foundation and would have been fine on its own, but what surprised me were all the new enhancements. If you never played Let Us Cling Together, then it might be hard to know that the user interface has changed, but it is way easier to navigate, much cleaner, and much easier to just kind of navigate what's going on. There's also a fast forward option in battle. Now, it doesn't make it blazing fast, so it just makes it hard to tell what's going on, but it speeds it up just a bit so the battles keep at a nice pace. And something else that seems new, I totally don't remember this from the PSP version, are these cards. Throughout the battles, they will randomly appear on the battlefield, giving you enhancements like increased stats, crit rate, MP, and much more. Now, what's interesting is you can grab them, but so can the enemy, so it adds some really interesting stakes to the battle. Feels like they were added to speed up the battles and just kind of mix things up to keep it interesting, which it definitely does. I really remember the battles being super long in the PSP version, so I appreciate these new additions to kind of speed things up and keep the game moving. There's probably even more enhancements that I'm not even aware of, but these are the ones that stood out the most to me. Now, one thing I'm not crazy about are the visual enhancements, at least on the character models. The character portraits, menus, and maps all look great. They have lots of new enhancements and look really crisp. However, the character models blown up on a big screen look not so great. Now, I have been playing this on the Nintendo Switch, and playing handheld is definitely the way to go. The smaller screen hides that washed out pixel look while still showcasing the other visual enhancements. One last thing, that music. Oh my god, I forgot how incredible it was. As soon as the opening movie started, I swear a small tear came out of my eye. It's really, really good and sets the tone perfectly whether you're in battle, equipping your troops for battle, or going through a story moment. You know, I gotta be honest, going into playing this game, I really wasn't expecting much. However, after playing about 4 hours, I'm kind of blown away and I'm addicted all over again. With all the new gameplay enhancements and quality of life features, this feels like a completely new game. If you love strategy RPGs, you gotta check this out, even if you've played it already. Hopefully Square drops a demo like they've been doing with all the recent releases so you can see it for yourself. If not, the game's November 11th release date is right around the corner. Now, if you want to hear about another incredible strategy RPG from Square Enix, be sure to check out my video about the Dealfield Chronicle. I recently got the Platinum Trophy for it on PlayStation 5 and was completely blown away by this game. And if you love JRPGs and want to stay up to date with the latest news, reviews, and other fun videos, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.